Ladies and gentlemen, it is Memorial Day and Memorial Day weekend. God bless you, each and every one of you tuning in. Thank you for liking and sharing this video. More importantly, please follow me on X. We are about to crush at AMTV Media 100,000 followers. Thank you so much. We have a world emergency report today. Please like and share and get this information out because these emergency events typically take place when Americans aren't paying attention, when they're celebrating a holiday. And notice I did a critical video yesterday, Donald Trump really lashing out at Vladimir Putin late last evening. He's on camera basically calling Putin crazy, making really threats, I believe, overt military threats towards Russia. And this comes on the heels of Germany now suggesting that they support strikes deep within Moscow. Please, for the love of God, share this video. God bless you. Again, I am Christopher Greene here at the Digital Noah's Ark. It is an honor. Thank you to all of our veterans and fallen soldiers, men and women that serve this country and have sacrificed so ultimately we can be free. Thank you so much. God bless you. And my prayers are with all of you here and in the next realm. So God bless. But let's talk about this because Donald Trump has now shifted and pivoted his stance from peace towards Russia and signing some kind of deal with Ukraine and even being willing to give up some of the land that has recently been annexed to now harsh threats. And Europe, which doesn't like Trump at all, which is signing agreements, going behind his back, going behind Trump and America's back, for example, with mineral rights in Greenland, is now making overt and taking overt action and really putting out some what I believe to be dangerous discourse towards Vladimir Putin. So let's break this down. I've reported over the last few days that not only have over 50,000 troops been readied for Kharkiv, and Putin's been building up his military and getting ready for another strike. But Moscow, just in the last 24 hours, defies Trump, probably why Trump was making those harsh comments towards Putin, because he knew that this was coming in a record assault on Ukraine. Let's just go to this report. This is the Wall Street Journal. Kyiv says more than 350 explosive drones targeted cities overnight in a massive slew of drone strikes. Russia launched its largest ever drone and missile assault on Ukraine overnight into Monday, according to Ukrainian officials, defying President Trump's call for an end to the bombardment. Ukraine's Air Force said Russia launched more than 350 explosive drones and at least 9 cruise missiles into Ukraine. So Kyiv was scrambling aircraft, and of course, I want you to think about when this is happening. It's happening on Memorial Day, and I've talked about this too. June 14th, there's a massive military parade. It happens to coincide with Donald Trump's birthday, but I actually believe that that is a show of force, not just against Donald Trump's opponents here in the States as he fights the deep state, but I also believe it's a show of force and could be a precursor for a major world war conflict, much like we've seen in the past. Again, if you look at history, Imperial Japan, right before its entrance into World War II, held a massive, massive show of force military parade. We're doing the same thing in a couple of days. We saw this with Germany before its invasion of Poland. We saw this notably with Ukraine and Putin's annexation of Ukraine. Massive military parade followed by war. And we see this over and over again, time immemorial, because again, it's much psychology being brought to the American people to stoke nationalism, a fervor of American power, and also to prime the mind so that the American people are ready. And I want you to think about our generation. Our generation has never been to war before. Our generation has had it really easy. The baby boomers obviously had the threat of Vietnam, but things were pretty good. Strong economy, it was basically up only endlessly. There was no massive reset like we're currently going through now. They weren't living through hyperinflation. I mean, hyperinflation is at least 20 to 50% a year in the United States. Housing, healthcare, food, air, water, cost of schooling, which college now is not even really worth the paper that it's fake printed on, as we see AI and robotics take over. So it's been relatively peaceful, right? Since 1929, the Great Depression, and the monetary reset then, which of course was Bretton Woods. Well, now we're going through a monetary fiat collapse here in the United States and worldwide during a Bitcoin blockchain crypto reset. And now the currency reset, which has always historically been in direct alignment with war, I believe is happening now. So these threats are only, and the antes are only leveling up. And I want you to understand too that this is going to panic Wall Street, hedge funds, private equity, even BlackRock's Larry Fink says Bitcoin's going to 500,000. And I posted yesterday on X, like, guys, it's over. You missed your chance to buy Bitcoin under 100K. I've been telling people to buy Bitcoin for near 15 years, under 1,000 when it was like pennies. You missed your opportunity. Now, this is your last chance to buy before 1 million. You do realize that all of Wall Street, all of the hedge funds, all private equity, they're fully in. Okay, they have ETFs rolling out into Wall Street. The fiat dollar is no longer trusted, and as America's financial system implodes under the massive weight of debt that can never be paid back, the elites are going to transfer this to a new system. They have to. There's no other option. And so this is why Jamie Dimon and others are calling for a stagflationary collapse, which is being nice. I mean, this is a hyperinflationary depression, wealth transfer into crypto, into blockchain, into real assets like you've never seen before. Pandemonium. And I've told you this for years. Since 2020, property values, especially the high end, like you're looking at behind me, what Island Project owns, isn't going down. It's only going up. Guys, this place is over $15 million. This is a $15 million piece of property. It's going to be worth $20 million in 5 years or less as a result of the massive fiat collapse. Again, US dollars are going physically out of circulation. They have literally gotten away with getting rid of the penny. You know, the penny with Abraham Lincoln on it, it's going by. You're going to have to either round up 5 cents or down 5 cents. They're going to eliminate physical anonymous currency and cash, and they're moving us into this very, very dangerous precedent right now, which again, I've warned for years, could result in a massive panopticon prison for the American people, total surveillance, crazy tyranny, which is why Christians like myself and my father built this ship. God's built it. We just simply followed his instructions. And it's why we own $33.5 million, properties like these, all around, soon to be around the world. Please contact my father because you need to be getting your money out of the banks and you need it to be put to work for you. And keep in mind, what we've done is so incredible because we now offer fractional ownership of the best properties in the world where you can participate in all the capital gains, all the future income distributions, plus enjoyment, lifestyle, and privacy of owning your assets outside of these failed institutions during fiat collapse, essentially in your own private bank with like minds, plus our token launch. So for more details on that, make sure you fill out an app, 150 units minimum, of course, islandproject.com, and or call or text my father at 808-442-2934. You can self-direct your IRAs, your 401ks, and your retirement accounts before it's too late. Because guys, Donald Trump just said, quote, Putin has gone crazy. Now, let me explain to you how serious this is becoming, how dangerous this is, because Germany is now green-lighting direct attacks into Moscow. And I'm straight up telling you, dude, Putin is a strong leader. This is one thing, even if you don't like Russia, that we can really respect about Vladimir Putin. Guys, I mean, he's not going to be afraid to launch hypersonics. I hope you understand that. They're not afraid. Okay, they have massive technology, and the United States isn't just at war with Russia. You're at war with China in a billion Chinese. And by the way, if you've done any international traveling like I have, the first conclusion that you'll come to is you've been lied to your entire life in America. Many of these places are much more technologically advanced than the United States, completely. They're already living in the blockchain future. It's America, quite frankly, that is late to Bitcoin, crypto, and tokenization. And I saw this even when I was in Singapore a decade ago. You could already swipe your credit card and transact with Bitcoin. And it's still, many Americans don't know this. I have credit cards in my wallet. I swipe them with a Visa and MasterCard logo and a little Bitcoin comes out, or a little cryptocurrency, or it pays with Ethereum. Still, so many Americans don't even know that. It's amazing. So many Americans don't even know Bitcoin is fractional and it's a fixed supply. It's better than gold. And I love gold, and that's why it's going sky high. So let's get into the geopolitical strike that I believe we are on the cusp of today. And it's so important you share this video. Also, we had of Duck Dynasty, Phil Robertson, pass. God rest his soul, true American patriot. Very sad to see him go, but I think he lived a really good life, something that we should all strive to achieve. I just want to mention that as well. The German chancellor said on Monday, today, on our Memorial Day, in a direct threat, that they are going to lift restrictions, which will allow Ukraine, which honestly is pretty much broken ties with the United States, failed to come to a peace deal, to strike military positions inside of Russia, and added that his government, this is Germany, would strategically no longer detail what arms it is sending to Ukraine. I want it to sink in, and it's why I'm raising my voice. So many of you are underestimating the gravity of what happens next. Again, guys, you are in geopolitical war. You are in a financial fiat dollar collapse. The bond markets have imploded in the United States. The wealth transfer has largely already commenced. There's really not a middle class in America anymore. There's just very rich people and very poor people in the United States. This is why most of the lesser halves will be subsidized by what the tech elites already pre-planned for all of you that locked you in your house in 2020 because they hate you. And that's universal basic income. And then, of course, the merger of human beings into silicon. I've been following this for years. I'm in the technology space. So none of this should be a surprise. Just like it shouldn't be a surprise to you that Bitcoin, even if you just bought a little of it when I recommended it 15 years ago, you'd be a multi-deca millionaire today, minimum. If you've taken any of my advice, you're rich as a result of anything I've said over the last 15 years. I've been on social media for 20 years now, guys. And this trend will continue. Again, the trend is your friend. And now with the massive amounts of money printing, and I want you to look at this too, the massive amounts of debt, which they're never, ever going to pay back. They never planned on paying it back. Again, their whole goal is to allow bankruptcy to commence in essentially a debt jubilee, which will then be reset. See this 36 trillion? This is going to be dumped into stable coins. Okay, the 36 trillion right there. So this will be 50 trillion soon. They're going to dump that hot potato debt to the American people, and they're going to transition it into a new tech called stable coins, USD stable coins. In fact, not only has there been major announcements of Abu Dhabi investment, over $2 billion into Donald Trump's World Liberty Fi, but Donald Trump's company also came out today, and they're actually, I think they're going to issue debt actually and buy like $3 billion more worth of crypto. So again, look at Trump as the signal. Even if you're not listening to me, look at what he's doing and his family is doing. They have completely dumped the dollar. They have completely dumped fiat. Trump is telling you you're going to war, and all of his investments is Donald Trump actively, building new Trump towers all over the world? Yeah, there's like one or two going up, but mostly what he's doing is buying Bitcoin and crypto and securing the future for his family. And I fully expect Donald Trump's family to be multi-trillionaires by the time this is over, because they know what I know. That again, as we wage war and fight the deep state, as the white hats attempt to secure not just monetary, but physical sovereignty in the powerhouse that has been the United States for all of these years, we are at war with very powerful forces that are working against the American people every single day and aren't looking out for your best interests and can't be trusted, just like your founding fathers knew. I mean, all of our veterans that have fought and died for this great country so that we could be free, so people like me could be an entrepreneur, and people like you could be successful, and people like you could have some freedom still left. They fought for a country that never trusted its government. The primary message of Thomas Jefferson and the founding fathers, and the whole reason for the establishment of the constitutional republic was based on lack of trust and not trusting a king not trusting excessive taxation without representation, and a rebuke to tyranny and authoritarianism. And this is what we're still at war with. You know, some things never change, even as we're entering the technological supercycle age. Even as Bitcoin is about to shatter new records at 200 to 300K, ETH is probably going to 10K. I mean, XRP looks like it's going to $100 based on its current pricing. Honestly, like these charts are off the wall, because now that the money printer goes burr, fiat is being printed worth nothing to buy all this stuff that's scarce. I've told you this for years, but the world's wealthiest are buying real estate all around the world so that they have control over their money outside of the banking system while it implodes. Why would you want your money in a bank if it's going to zero and you can't earn any yield and you don't have any control over it? For example, if you had $1 million at Credit Suisse, which collapsed, you no longer have access to your money. It needed a bailout, and then you had to wait to get your money, and then you were lucky if you even got it. We saw this in 1929 as well, and 2008 and 09. All of the major financial institutions collapsed, and then what the government did, propped up the zombie institutions, screwed all of you tuning in, average Americans, foreclosed on your houses, locked you in your homes again in 2020, and then gave all of that free money and currency to the same people that caused it. Most of the bailouts, again, in 2008-09, didn't go to the American people. They didn't allow you to keep your house. What they did is they gave it to Jamie Dimon and billionaires and the too big to fails, and they gave it to the same people that wrote those synthetic derivatives, mortgage-backed securities, and all of that fake paper money wealth. The same thing is happening now, but here's the challenge for most Americans. Most Americans don't even know who their enemy is. And the deep state cabal elite designed it that way for a very specific reason, because when you don't know who to fight, they have complete control. It's almost like a vice around your neck where you can't move it, because they know you don't know who you're at war with. Again, the people that I believe freedom is in opposition towards today are people that never show their faces. So just understand this truth. So I'm very concerned. Donald Trump, the white hat, is clearly indicating that war is coming. He has a massive military parade planned just in a few days, June 14th. Their tanks will be in the streets, Abrams tanks, massive display of force, airplanes and jets in your sky, much like Top Gun. Why are they doing that? Fireworks all over Washington, D.C. Why? Well, it's not just to commemorate the 250th anniversary of the U.S. Army. It's to prep the American people psychologically through propaganda for what's to come next. And what is to come next? Again, a lot of you misinterpret sometimes what I'm saying. You're like, well, Christopher, if the US dollar is collapsing, why should we do anything? That's why you should do everything. Your first move should be to buy real assets. Even if it's not with me, then go buy the best properties in the world with no bank debt like we've already done. Form massive communities. I have over 400 investors from around the world. I have investors that have millions of dollars with me at islandproject.com. No bank debt, full control, monetary sovereignty, private ecosystem, uncensorable, unconfiscatable, diversified, true 100% equity ownership, all the capital gains rights, fractionally owned, future income distributions, lifestyle and use, plus 1,000x tokenization. Even my investors at the minimum 150K. If we pull a 30x, you're a multi-millionaire. See my terms and disclaimers, but you realize that, right? At 150 grand, not only is your money safe, growing over time in a luxury real estate asset portfolio that's going to be worth hundreds of millions of dollars independently by itself, even without tokenization, but 150K times that by 30, that would be a 30x. And if our token launched 30x's, I'm sure you can count, well, we don't even measure in dollar signs anymore, but you can clearly see tens of millions of dollars are possible in our equivalent IPO. We've seen this many times before. I sold the Google Dutch auction when I was working at Merrill Lynch, made many people rich that bought Google stock. We had a specific allotment that only we could sell to high net worth people. Keep this in mind, most of the best investments in the world, you can only access them if you're super rich. You have to have a high net worth, a certain income threshold, or you're not allowed to buy the best investments in the world because the elites don't want you rich. Again, the modern institutions, the school system, the media, the fake news, they're all there to control you. They put you in school, like look at children. I homeschool all my kids. We spend high quality time with them, educating them, math, science, philosophy, business, entrepreneurship, how to balance a checkbook, teach them about money. That can all be done in just a series of a short couple of hours. Then we allow them to play and be creative and have social time and do physical activities, learn self-defense, all these kinds of things. You don't need to have a child at a school from 9 to 5. The only reason that exists is because it's babysitting. Do you understand? They needed to put blue collar workers into the factories, so to speak, what used to be a cubicle, of which now they no longer need you, so they're getting rid of all of you, right? And then supposedly they were going to give you a gold Rolex by the time you were done, and they're not even doing that now. Most of you probably don't even have pensions. Look at the millennial generation. Your future is so absolutely insecure. You have no other choice but to go all in cryptocurrencies and new technology. There is no other opportunity where you have become a millionaire, a billionaire so easily as a result of new tech. You have to IPO yourself, so to speak. You have to become an entrepreneur, or at the very least have an entrepreneurial risk-based mindset, because there's no options left. Like literally, they've created an environment. I want you to think about this con. The average college student, let's say he spends 15 years of his life going through school, only to be replaced by robots and artificial intelligence and AI agents. It's pretty hilarious. 90% of the jobs will not be needed in the next 5 years. Do you know my friend Eric Schmidt, head of the DOD, the Department of Defense Innovation Board? He even had to go get his arms dealing license as a result of his work in technology. I know him very well. Don't agree with him on all things, but again, I respect his opinion and I respect what he does. And, you know, he's flat out told me, Christopher, like the American people are underestimating AI. So if you think what people are saying about AI sounds extreme, you're actually underestimating the threshold of the change. It is so massive, most will be left behind. Most are going to be left behind. This is not just a societal shift. It is the largest economic, financial wealth transfer in civilization's history. And it's going to go to very few people. Bitcoin is now a reserve asset, replacing USD and replacing fiat. I also just want to thank all of you guys so much. You're such incredible people. Thank you for all your prayers with baby Faith. That is an ongoing process, obviously, which we have, a big uphill battle in front of us. The doctors are working with her right now so that she puts on more weight. And there's a lot of other things that we need to be doing. So it's another example of putting all your faith and trust in God. These are the things of life that we can't control. But I would just like to ask you, as I'm praying for all of you as well and your struggles, please continue praying for us and pray for my daughter and her heart surgery, because it's not easy. And, life fills us with these challenges, but he uses these challenges for us to glorify him. It's such an amazing journey. Folks, please get this message out. Please follow me at AMTV Media. Trump put out a huge warning shot across the bow today. He not just wished us a happy Memorial Day, but he called out the deep state. I'm going to just read a part. He said, "Happy Memorial Day to all, including the scum that spent the last 4 years trying to destroy our country through warped radical left minds who allowed 20 million people to illegally enter our country, many of them being criminals and mentally insane, through an open border policy that only an incompetent president referring to Joe Biden would approve, and through judges who are on a mission to keep, I can't say all the words, but bad people here in this country, prisoners from all over the world in our country so they can rob and do all kinds of things that I can't say. I got to keep it PG. All protected by these USA-hating judges who suffer from an ideology that is sick and very dangerous for our country. Hopefully, the United States Supreme Court and other good and compassionate judges throughout the land will save us from the decisions of these monsters who want our country to go to hell. But fear not, we have made great progress over the last 4 months, and America will soon be safe and great again. Again. Happy Memorial Day, and God bless America." That is our great president, Donald John Trump. I encourage you to follow him on Truth Social. He's not perfect, guys. Come on. I get it. And there's certain things I disagree with Donald Trump, but he's a great man. We need to be praying for him. We need to be praying for the safety of his family. We need to be praying for his investments. Look, Donald Trump's making major moves right now into crypto and blockchain and Bitcoin. And I am so proud of this country and all of you tuning in. And I'm proud of all of our members, all of our subscribers. I am proud that God has allowed and built the digital Noah's Ark. I encourage you to get in. Let my dad help you. My dad is such a great mentor and man. For those of you who don't know my father, Papa John Greene, I made him vice president of the Island Project several years ago because there's no one better in the world but him. And he's such a great father, and he's such an expert in the real estate space, and he's helped, of course, with all of our amazing acquisitions. We now have 6 properties, and serendipitously, we're closing on Trump Tower, Waikiki. Massive beachfront unit, amazing, probably our most stunning acquisition yet. No bank debt, ensuring not just safety for all of our members and investors, but a portfolio that will soon reach hundreds of millions of dollars in aggregate net worth as we tokenize and position and posture for that 1000x up-only move in 2025. And I've gotten to know so many of you on a personal level as you're a part of our amazing network, as a part of our team. We've had so many visitors coming in and out of these beautiful properties and experiencing such amazingness. It's such an honor, and I just want you to know how thankful I am for all of you tuning in. And all of our new subscribers, I encourage you to learn about what we're doing. It's really amazing. And you click the links below at islandproject.com, fill out a quick app, takes like 2 minutes, 150 units is the minimum to get in. And I also have a new newsletter update. We're going to be putting out opportunities and availabilities of all the new properties that have been acquired for stays and use. So a lot of our members have really thought it's fun that, it's a lifestyle investment. You can actually use, touch, where you actually are, experience, and connect in a very physical way. You don't have to waste your money at a hotel. When you stay at a hotel, you never get your money back. You stay at one of your properties, you're actually paying into your own equity. And we actually comp time based on tiers, plus all the traditional benefits of real estate ownership and tokenization. Once you understand that, and once many of you have, because I've been coaching and teaching with all my courses, bitcoinrich.com, islandprojectclub.com, largest in the world for so long now, and a lot of my members have made a lot of money following my crypto advice. But once people finally connect the dots, they understand they own no bank debt real estate, literally the Lamborghini of the best properties in the world that only appreciate during fiat dollar collapse. See our terms and disclaimers. Married with tokenization, the first tokenized portfolio of beach and oceanfront homes, it clicks. And they finally understand how big of a deal this is. We are innovators. I am a visionary. I'm an entrepreneur. When I was telling people about Bitcoin, most people thought Bitcoin was a scam until now. Again, I don't think you'll ever get into Bitcoin under 100K again. You missed it. Many of you missed percentage point gains. So don't miss this. Keep in mind, we've been working so hard the last 2 years, getting off the ground, dollar cost averaging with our acquisitions, which we will have announcements for property 7 and 8 very soon as we build out the 13 colonies. We've been working so hard because all of that equity is now ready to be unlocked with our tokenization. So when we tokenize our already acquired physical cash flow producing asset with an appraised value, we already own it. We've already done it. Victory has been declared, is going to back the token launch. That is going to be just like a stock IPO. Just like stocks are valued at future cash flows, the management team, the assets under ownership, the intellectual property rights, the technology, and the patents. It's the same thing with tokenization. It's the new Wall Street. Again, I encourage you to learn about this stuff because you're going to miss the opportunity of a lifetime. And I want to end on a positive note. With all these geopolitical tensions, the next few days, based on your actions, based on you clicking the link below, at the very least, talk to my dad. You might as well just give him a call, ask some good, prudent questions, see if the investment opportunity is right for you. Your actions today will directly determine your success in the next few months. I believe that in the next 6 months, the gains in the cryptocurrency blockchain space will be life-changing. Take it from me. My life has changed completely in 10 years. There was almost a 10-year period of darkness, and then all of a sudden, I don't value these things of the world, but I had more money in my crypto wallets and bank accounts than I could have ever imagined. How did that happen? Hard work, persistence, due diligence, riding the wave, being early in new technology trends, having conviction, believing in yourself, and taking risk. These are all the things that you need to do today. Again, guys, what are you waiting for? Life is so short. I mean, I lost my brother in my arms. He was only 39. He had his full right side of his body amputated, his hip and his leg. He had bone cancer. He pretty much lost everything. It was almost like watching a human sacrifice. He died in my arms. He only made it to 39. My brother loved God, loved people, made disciples, actually walked with Jesus Christ. I have some great testimony around that I've shared in the past. But he wasn't thinking he wished he took less risk. He was thinking he took more risk. In fact, on my brother's deathbed, he told both me and my father to make this great. He said, you make the island project great. We have. Victory declared, Cody. God bless you, brother. I love you. Thank you for looking out for us, all the angels in the kingdom of heaven, and blessing our project and everything. And I know you're up there still rooting for us and protecting us. But my point is, guys, many of you are waiting. You're hesitating. You're allowing the deep state to ruin your life. You're allowing them to control you. You're taking their advice and not the advice of freedom and liberty. Listen to your forefathers. Listen to the founding fathers, what they fought for to establish 1776, to have freedom, to represent this great Memorial Day. Why have we lost all these great people that have fought and died on the battlefield if you're so afraid to take even a basic risk to build a better future for yourself, to make your first $1 million, to be a benefactor of sorts, to be charitable, to live a great life in glorification, not to yourself, but to God? I mean, if you're not going all in today, I don't know, honestly, what you're waiting for. To me, to not be convicted and to not have passion and not to build incredible things and connect with amazing people like you all tuning in would be such a waste of time and energy, life experience, and honestly, a disgrace of being alive. What you do today really, truly matters. And I want you to understand that don't be surprised when Bitcoin hits 200 to 300K. Don't be surprised when blockchain turns out to be that thing that you remember and go, man, if I would have listened to Christopher, I would be rich. He was absolutely right. Just like, all glory to God, we've been absolutely right for 15 freaking years. 15 years of a perfect track record because God told me. And so many of you are still sitting there. I don't understand it. I was at dinner a few nights ago, having a steak dinner with my whole family, and I heard people at the next table. We're at this beautiful restaurant, amazing view over the ocean. There's like baby seals floating around. We're just enjoying ourselves, having a great steak. And I'm hearing these people, and they're like talking, well, I don't understand Bitcoin. Like, they're kind of joking about it. See, we're still at that stage. So many people still honestly don't understand. It's unbelievable. You know, for example, most people don't understand the internet. Do you understand how TCP IP works? Most of you don't. I actually do. I was doing bulletin board services and running servers when I was a kid. My generation's a zennial, a mixture between X and Y. I remember analog, like a normal telephone before computers, to then computers. But most Americans don't understand how the internet functions. They don't understand zeros and ones and code, and they don't understand HTML and programming and JavaScript and all this kind of stuff, but it works, right? It's the same thing with Bitcoin. I don't understand. That's not a good reason not to buy it and own it. The easiest way to get rich right now is here. The number one investment is islandproject.com. This is the number one action strategy. This is the number one safe haven. There is no downside. Let me explain it just one more time and then we're going to end. We own a portfolio of the most exclusive properties in the world with no bank debt. They are already owned. We're the first in the world to successfully fractionalize real estate, now across 3 islands in Hawaii. We own 6 beautiful properties. Our latest acquisition at Trump Tower, Waikiki. Also have a beautiful ski lodge, $6 million ski lodge in Park City, Utah. We're the first people in the world to do this. It's already owned. These properties are running. They're being managed. They earn cash flows from our investors every single year. They're appreciating in value. Our appraised value is going up as a result of the fiat collapse. Traditional real estate, diversified, in a private economy ecosystem, kind of like a larger Huey of sorts. You've probably heard of that. You know, 5 people, family members get in, they buy real estate together. That's called a Huey. We've done it with our investors. But what makes us so unique is not only we have no downside because we have no bank debt, see our terms, I'm not a financial advisor, but we're also tokenizing in the equivalent IPO on our own blockchain. backed by what we already bought, the Lamborghini and the gold Rolexes of the best real estate in the world. And by the way, what do you think appreciates more? Do you think this $15 million home is going to appreciate more than, let's say, a regular home worth $700,000 in middle America? Nothing wrong with that property. That's fine. Middle class is great. But what do you think appreciates more? This is always in more demand. It's more scarce. And you are far more likely to make more and more money in the best real estate in the world, in the Bel Air, in the Beverly Hills, than you are in middle America, where it's not as desirable, it's not as sticky, and there's not the same demand. Properties like these guys, they rent out for sometimes $30,000 a week, for crying out loud. So once people understand, I have a lot of real estate people obviously in this, they get it, they understand. They're like, oh my gosh, like I can't believe you've done this. I've explained this to you before. We've had offers already from private equity wanting to buy us out. They're like, how did you and your father pull this off? It's incredible. You did it in a very unconventional way. Well, you know, all glory to God. Listen to what I'm telling you. Take my advice. Make the best move you possibly can today. Get into our project. See if it's right for you. Fill out an app for 150 units. We'll get a tickle. I'm sending out a brand new newsletter to our investor members. Reach out to my father, have a conversation, schedule a call. You can text him at 808-442-2934. Then come stay at our properties. Bring your family. Enjoy yourself. Take some pictures. Show your friends what you actually own. It's awesome. I love you so much. Stay on your toes as we are now here at Memorial Day. I believe that Trump is posturing us for war. And what I think is going to happen, it's going to be an escalating regional conflict followed by an invasion of Taiwan. This is why they're ramping up manufacturing and the chip production here in the States right now. And I think it's going to be really bumpy. And I fully expect Bitcoin, real estate, real assets, gold, silver, Ethereum, XRP, fractionalized real estate, tokenized assets, soon to be tokenized stocks, to skyrocket. Because they're not going to pay back the debt, guys. They're resetting it. And the wealth is being transferred, which is why they're going to launch universal basic income. Because that was the plan. They're creating a new system. This is the reset, and it was the reason for what you experienced in 2020 and everything else. It's all a part of the plan. The elites are running simulations and algorithms, and very few Americans understand this. It's psychological programming, it's brainwashing, and it's a currency reset. Now they're going to need the distraction of war. Problem, reaction, solution. It's Hegelian dialectic. I've been saying this for years, and we've been right. I say it with a sense, hopefully, of humility, but confidence. Because again, guys, I don't want you to miss this. Many of you will be in a lot worse situation unless you take the actions that I'm telling you to take now. And even if it's not with us, then do something similar. Get your money out of the banks. Buy physical assets. Get into real estate. Get out of debt like we're out of debt. Buy gold. Buy silver. Create new skills. Get your cash flows up. Learn about Bitcoin. Buy Bitcoin. Buy Ethereum. Understand it. Educate yourself. This is the future. Learn about AI. Have you seen AI? It's ridiculous. These are the best, highest performing opportunities in the world. And the window is short. It's not going to last long. And the internet, took about 10 years to go from like the invention of Twitter to now what we see today with social media. But AI is going to happen in 2 to 5. Most of you have already literally missed it. God bless. Jesus Christ is King. Thank you for tuning in. I've got a brand new video coming. I'll probably produce something from the Lambo next. Something fun. It is. I want you guys to have fun too. I try to entertain you guys too. But I wanted to do a very heartfelt message because I'm very worried that a lot of you are underestimating the fiat collapse. You seriously don't get it. There's a lot of Americans that still think Bitcoin is a scam. Well, my bank account honestly begs to differ. And the real estate that we own now with no bank debt actually declares the opposite. And I know teenagers at my school that are deca-millionaires already because they took my course Bitcoin Rich, and they're worth tens of millions of dollars. I'm not going to go public with it because not everyone's a public figure like me. And you got baby boomers hanging around thinking they've got it figured out. Let me tell you, you don't. Never underestimate the younger generation. That's one thing I've learned as a 43-year-old. I will never underestimate the younger generation. I will always ask questions, and I will always try to learn for as long as I'm alive. I don't care if I'm 90. I will listen to my kids and grandkids. Tell me about the new tech, grandson, and I'll learn about it and keep an open mind. I won't just, write it off. Most people thought the internet was a scam. Look who's laughing now. When I started in social media, people said I was an idiot. That's actually how I made my first $1 million, was in social media. It took me about 10 years to get there. 10 years of hard work and elbow grease, and then everything just skyrocketed. Again, most people don't have it figured out. Most people are broke. Don't take broke people's advice. Take my father's advice. My dad retired when he was 40, sold a manufacturing company with my godfather. All the pickles go into the In-N-Out burgers. Those are Green Boys foods. Take my dad's advice. He knows what he's talking about. My dad retired a multi-millionaire in his 40s, hung out for a couple years. He's an amazing investor, an amazing real estate investor. You understand you have access to that here? It's friggin' amazing. And I'm the best in the world in cryptocurrency, blockchain education, Bitcoin. I am first in the world to tokenize soon to be real estate, and the first, along with my beautiful 1776 members, having already bought and fractionalized the best beach and oceanfront homes in the world. I mean, take a look, guys. This ain't CGI. This ain't AI. This is real. Pretty dope, right? Pretty dope. Pretty awesome. This is what you own, man. This is what you own, bro. Get in, man. What are you waiting for? Links below. God bless. Jesus Christ is King.